Ladies and gentlemen, good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This one right here is an important, very important, um, session. We have Colin Bell, you understand, from Portland Spice TV, and Ralston Hyman. They communicate on a regular basis, and for me personally, it is a staple for me in terms of again understanding where we are economically, uh, you know, in the country, what are the policies of the government in terms of, you know, helping the economy grow, or if they have any at all to help the economy grow. The questions, the obstacles, just understanding from a level where everybody can understand. Say no Poland Spice TV right there on the screen. Make sure that you guys go and subscribe. Click the notification bell and click all. You understand? Excellent programs in. Yes, so let us look into this excerpt from Colin Bell and Mr. Ralston Hyman. Alright, let's look at the facts. That's why we're here. We want to know the facts. Somebody that, in terms of what is happening in our economy, it's all about the numbers. The man does not care about party. He cares about the facts and what it means for all of us. I would encourage you guys to heed the warning. I really would. Alright? Not because the truth and the facts does not speak well about your particular party or leadership. These facts are things that we need to prepare for, yes? So without any further ado, let's get it.
Thank you, Junior. Raleigh, morning.
Morning.
What go on, my friend?
Yeah, man, we're there.
Raleigh, a whole heap of things, whole heap of trouble in the world. If the gang was around now, that song So Much Trouble in the World would be a mega hit.
Yeah, man.
So much trouble and so much trouble in Jamaica.
Same thing, Dennis Brown. The world is troubled.
The world is
so much
troubled.
pain and misery, yeah.
Yeah, man, and living ain't easy.
Yeah, man. Great D Brown,
No, may I tell you, so we produce some greats in Raleigh.
Yeah, man. Them man, they are legend, man. Legend. And that's why I see some boy come now, them look at you that thing, I come go and like that. Them man, they are legend.
Yeah, man.
Great D Brown,
Them man, their music will never, ever die.
Never, ever die, yeah.
We will always be talking. Yeah, man. Every song relevant to now.
Yeah, man, today, yeah. And them man, they see it like 50 years ago, them song they come out here. 70s, 80s. Them man, they see them things from long time. Because Vision, them man, they sing about.
Visionary.
Yeah, and I like that.
Jesus. What did I just do? No. People, it's me cut off Raleigh, Take up the phone and just... No. Serious. I'm me cut off. The hold on, Professor. I'm me this up wrong. You hold on for me,
Wherever you are, missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints can meet you.
Phone and cut off Raleigh instead of keeping Raleigh on the phone. But we have him. Yeah, Raleigh. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
man. You were telling us.
Yeah, man, I say, them man, they are legend. Them man, they are sing them things 40, 50 years ago, because them man, they are still where they got there now. Yeah.
So,
unlike them brother with us sing about now and some foolishness.
And some garbage that can't go now.
Yeah, man, pure garbage, yeah.
But Raleigh, tell me now. Statin now said that it's 2.7 million people live at Jamaica. How them know that?
Well, we know that from long time before them tell we that's 2.7 million. We're starting to, them say them complete a census and them have people on the field last year and this year. And them are doing 2022 data. That is absolute rubbish. We can't use nothing and that's with them. That's showing a garbage fund. Waste of money. Everybody want to get fired.
My question though, Raleigh. I live in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Me have a whole heap of friends and acquaintances and people that I know.
Yeah.
And I have been asking since last week.
Me don't know nobody with them talk tonight. Them not talk to me, and me don't know nobody with them talk. That's what I rubbish them I do.
That is my argument.
And
right now, we have about 1,000 people that listen to the show directly right now, this minute. I am saying to them, please, somebody indicate to me if you know anybody who was contacted and interviewed in this census.
Me know a whole heap of people, and me don't know nobody who them talk to. Me don't know nobody at my workplace who them talk to. So as me I say, rubbish.
And nobody, hold on. And you have a big show, and nobody no call in and say them talk to them.
No, most of the people who call in and say them never hear nothing from them. And me I say again too, even if them they talk to people, you can't come in at 2025, 2026 and you with 2022 data. That can't use to make no decision. Total rubbish. That is still data. Yeah,
so what happened to the 4 million?
Yeah,
what happened to the 4 billion rally? 4 billion was given to them.
Them still account for it yet. I need an accounting from starting what happened to the 4 billion, because if you spend $4 billion and then I give it 2022 data, that is rubbish. That is a waste of money, misallocation of scarce resources, and a whole lot of people who say them did work for them, not get no pay yet and all of them something there. And you can't spend $4 billion and I give it 2022 for deal with 2026. Yeah, that rubbish that man. Whole care rubbish. Well, I said all of them agents today lose credibility right now.
Will there be an audit of that 4 billion? Because 4 billion can't just go so.
Well, we have to call feet. And everybody has expressed disgruntlement about the data. So based on that, we have to call for an accounting of the 4 billion. So Mr. Lisha the Latibody here, who is now the new Director General, to tell us what that $4 billion was used for. Yep.
$4 billion.
Yeah, man, them need to tell me. Yep. So I rubbish that.
Raleigh, I get a report. CCI data reveals creative sector contributes 5.1%, which is $107 billion to GDP. You heard of that report?
More than that, because Vanessa James did something in 2000, I tell you the same thing. Now, if you run that as 5% of the current GDP, or last year GDP, that would have been more than that.
So, where them figures here come from? Is somebody making up them figures here?
Yeah, man, that's not correct, because this year's GDP are $3.482 trillion. Yeah, so 10% of that would have been $324 billion. So 5% of that would have been in the region
$160 billion.
$160 billion. Yeah, man.
But when I look at it though, I am still saying that we should really be ashamed to release that kind of data. A sector that have so much potential. What is tourism giving us? What percentage of GDP tourism giving us?
Well, them say tourism is about 30% of GDP, directly or indirectly.
But if tourism is 30% and culture, creative and the creative industry, that sector, is 5%, it shows the lack of understanding, because that should be on the same pillar with tourism, or a little higher than tourism.
Yeah, but remember, in the tourism sector, you have more formal reporting. You have a whole for under-reporting within the creative sector, because enough of the man there in the creative sector now provide the data to nobody, so that's a part of the thing too. Them claim say, yeah, I deal with Babylon, and yeah, I tax someone, I tax them. So there's a whole for under-reporting in the creative sector.
But you're the next part. You're the next part, Ralston. It's a lack of structure. The creative sector is not organized.
No, it is disorganized, and part of the disorganization have to do with some of the players in the sector too, because they don't want to organize themselves in a particular way. Because as me I say, them figures the boy attack them or get taxed, and then now information to Babylon and all of them things. So that's a part of it. Yeah. So only for under-reporting that take place in that sector.
Now, let's go back to starting a little bit, Ralston. How then, with 2.7 million people living here, they also talk about the birth rate. How then does the government really plan for what they are going to do in the future in 2025? So you need to plan for 2026, 2027. How do you plan for that future using 2022 data?
You can't. You use field data, you're flying in the dark, and that's what happens a lot of times. A lot of the policies are made flying in the dark, and that's why they don't work. You can't have field data and make policies with fake data. You have a miss. Yeah? So you have to have timely and accurate data, and that is why we have to start to go back with that and wheel and come again. We can't use that for future planning. You get me? I said here. Yep.
They said
all things take place in 2022.
Ralston, I want you to hear what them are saying, because them say them are plan for 2030 for the next.
Yeah.
Hold on.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica says planning for the 2031 population and housing census is underway, with the aim of avoiding a repeat of the challenges from the 2022 collection of data. After 3 years, the preliminary results of the 2022 census were released yesterday. The census has been plagued with several issues, which resulted in missed deadlines for the completion of the exercise, including the delayed submission of information from workers. The data collection was initially scheduled for 2021, but was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking today on the morning agenda on Power 106, Director General of Statin, Lisha Delati-Badir, said the agency will be taking a different approach for the next census.
We've looked at the past, we've looked at our experiences with the census, and we have started to discuss those lessons learned. We've started to strategize around what can we do differently, how can we improve, how can we prevent the challenges that we experienced with this one. And those are the discussions that we have started to have, as well as we're looking at what is happening in the global statistical community. We're looking at some of those recommendations. I know for us, one of our agreed upon considerations is that what we definitely have to go to a shorter questionnaire. We also definitely have to promote and encourage more self-enumeration, digital questionnaires. We did have a web form in the census, however, the uptake was quite low for several factors.
So, Raleigh, should the government send back starting in the field for this census? No.
Immediately, them should be ashamed. Them should even release that what them release because it does make the institution look stupid. Yeah, Lisa Latibody here is a very bad start for her. She look like a big fool. She lose credibility. Them should even release that.
So, what role the government now plays in all of this?
Well, Minister Favour Williams must stand back in the field and make her know say that's a stupid thing. It has no credibility whatsoever.
We said to the callers, the viewers this morning, if you have a question for Ralston, you can give us a call, 876-804-7072, or taking your questions. Now, Raleigh, we're talking also about this wage bill. What is going to happen with this wage bill, Raleigh? Civil servants are adamant that they're not taking 2%. Can you show us that the government have that money or they don't have it?
Well, them don't have the money. So it means the place after either them will cut the capital budget again, which means we don't get no growth. Or the place will shut down for a protracted period because the trade union leaders them so them not accept that. So the only alternative is for them cut the capital budget if they want to pay the public sector, and that means slower growth and more stagnation.
Cut the capital budget?
Again.
So you mean that is the budget for fix road and put in water?
Yeah, man. Which will hamper economic growth.
So you're saying... Go ahead.
Next option is to fire the public sector workers then. And them can't do that without creating mayhem in the country. Well, and that is why all of the bogus analysts them should be arrested because Nigel Clarke caused this problem because Nigel Clarke busted the budget, moved the debt to the wage to GDP ratio from 9% to 13%, and then give friend them all of the money and say Ernst and Young pay $1 billion to do it. And none of the analysts them who say them great never look for them and tell them say rubbish that in does. So Nigel Clarke set up this problem.
Who are them bogus analysts then? And
man like Damian King, man like Mr. Duncan, yeah, them kind of man there.
You mean of the Keith variety?
Yeah, man, them man there, yep.
So what happened to the man when he win?
Dr.
Wayne.
Yeah, man, he was the main one. Well, in fact, he was the main one.
Eh? Tell him.
He was the main one. Yep. DOJ, governor, too, all of them support the rubbish. Yeah, because we are them Fred and Nigel Clarke. Yeah, man.
You mean the governor, you want him used to sit on EPAC?
Yeah, man. And then them want the workers now for bear the sacrifice. Yeah, all of them have bad decision making. Yeah, and none of them never go to stand up and tell Nigel Clarke are rubbish. And when I tell them they are rubbish, them do. And them say me bad mind and me this and me that. And I told me never get the work at IMF and all kind of crap. See, you know, this the chicken come to roost now. So it's like them shut down the public sector leaders, them shut down the country. Or them have to cut the capital budget and pay the man them. Right, done to the total disrepair with the country already. So now I get no growth.
But how you going to cut? Well, maybe they can't cut the capital budget, Ralston, because they're not spending it either.
Yeah, well, but either way, whether you're not spending it or not, if you cut it, all you're going to do is slow down economic growth and push with more poverty.
People, I hope some audio still good. When you hear that, the decisions that Nigel Clarke has made, the analysts that Mr. Ralston Hyman is not afraid to call out. According to him, they have been misleading the people. And we have been saying this, not necessarily about those analysts that he mentioned, but mainstream media and these institutions, especially the statistical institutions. How can you use a census from 2022? As a matter of fact, how can you use a past census that far back to craft policies? Shouldn't it be as updated as possible? And Ralston Hyman mentioned something about, and he's absolutely right. I don't know anybody that was questioned by this statting. I don't know anybody. Honestly, I don't. And if anybody is out there and you're listening to this video, please come tell us. I told you that Nigel Clarke, I don't know why people cannot see it, but the fact that he left Jamaica. Nigel Clarke did not choose Jamaica, but the JLP campaign on choosing Jamaica. Nigel Clarke chose the IMF. Michelle Charles did not choose Jamaica. She lost her seat and now she gone overseas, gone work. You understand? She went back. She's back home. No care for the Jamaican people. But this is what we voted for, well, not we. The ones that did vote for them. The ones that did steal for them. The ones that did help bribe people for them or intimidate people for them. This is what you guys have embraced, and telling you, you're every last one of us, whether we voted for them or not, we're gonna feel it, and it's happening already. The labor at them out there on social media, and they are balling out. They are balling out. I want you guys to pay attention to all of my videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's not all the time I do a long video. We have some things called shorts, and there's a lot of important information. You guys can just scroll through, go on my short videos, press play on the first one, and then scroll down and just listen through all of the shorts. A lot of information to be remembered that is important, and also current things as well, and ideas that I have formulated. And it's not just about politics either, it's about life itself, relationships and stuff like that. There's a lot of media blackouts, so in terms of topics, it's not that I am limited to politics. So you'll see that the platform will have a more wholesome approach in terms of what we talk about, so keep an eye on those videos. Anyway, let's continue. We left off at no growth and poverty. Oh Lord, help us.
Ralston, Mr. Obi over here. So Obi.
Hi, morning, Colin. Good morning, Raleigh. How you doing?
Morning.
Yeah, Raleigh. Quickly. As it relates to the starting, let's start here. The report that we're getting now, how would you, what role would the former Minister of Finance, Dr. Nigel Clarke, play in all of this? Remember that we had this problem from he was there.
This started with him. Well, that's why I'm telling Nigel Clarke people have a problem, because they never complete the census when he was there. And then them do some little sloppy work and bring out this rubbish stuff to save face. And it's crap, they might give it history. 22, that's 3 years ago. You can't use decisions in this world where everything moves so fast on a daily basis. And second, you can't come and argue on 2022 data to make decisions in 2026. That's absolute rubbish. So you completely destroy the credibility of the agency.
Raleigh, another thing that I wanted to explain. What happened to the 6% year-on-year increase that the government said that they had factored into the wage bill for the public sector worker? Was all of that a kind of election gimmicks and so on? Because it was there earlier. But leading to the election, we hear a 2%. Well, at zero, they moved from a 0 to a 2%. But initially, there was a 6% there in the budget for public sector workers.
In fact, 9.5 on the first year.
Well, let me use up that money and tell the man then, sir. the increments from the reclassification, the 7.5% are part of that, which is not true. And that's why the unions them insist on it, because them give them that money based on class reclassification. What them know, them waste out the money for vote buying exercising. And then I tell the man them say that 7.5% a part of the wage deal. And the man them rightly reject it because it's rubbish.
Ralston, you said they waste the money on vote buying?
Yeah, man.
Which money they waste on vote buying?
All them rubbish when Nigel Clarke come about with the reverse income tax system where them pay out like $12 billion with them. Then them come with this thing with solidarity with another $12 billion.
No, hold on, Raleigh. Hold on, slow down. It's 11.4 billion on the tax return and 1 billion on the solidarity.
Yep.
So that means them give away $12.4 billion of taxpayers' money to buy the election.
They give a little money in other years to man for buy the election.
But tell me something. I'm going to get this clear. $12.4 billion. That could have make a change to deal with civil servant?
Yeah, man, that could have make a big change. Plus the other little money with them waste. Them waste are for money for foolishness.
What about $23 billion for Cornwall Regional?
Yeah, all of that. Yep. All of the full money where them use to map up liquidity. One second, Alex.
Obi.
Yeah.
Till Ralston. Obi.
Yes, Raleigh.
How do you now deal with a statin? And I asked Ralston a while ago. That gives you a 2022 report for the government to use to plan until 2030. Because I think the next census they are saying going to be in 2030.
Well, absolutely, Colin. Everything will be in our flux, and what we'll be doing, we'll be having bogus planning because you can't use a 2022 census, as Raleigh has been saying, that this should not keep the public, because what you're going to have, Colin, is a continuation of lopsided policies. Because you don't have the true figure as it relates to what your population is, because you're talking about 2022 and all of those kind of things. So we are really in a flux, and I agree with Raleigh that there should be a wholesale firing of the people of Scotland.
Ingrid, tell everybody to come over here. Send a message to everybody. Tell them to come to Portland Spice TV. The teacher, the professor, Ralston Hyman, the man with all the figures, the #1 financial analyst in Jamaica, is on Portland Spice TV right now. So tell them to forward, subscribe to the channel, like up the video and share the channel. Raleigh, you are saying that there are two options. Fire civil servant or cut the capital budget.
And none of those options are good options.
None of them good. So what? So what we are going to do? Just lay down and die? Can't do that.
What they are going to do, they are going to cut the capital budget and pay the civil servant because they don't want the place shut down. So we are going back to 0.8% economic growth and only for problem all about the place. More poverty, 0.8 police growth, and police and people are clash every minute and everything. That's how we are going.
Ralston, go ahead, Obi.
Raleigh, we had an election. We had an election on the 3rd of September. In other jurisdictions, when you have these kind of flawed situations that will create major problems, the government would be forced to go back to the...
What's the problem?
Oh, that not the place.
If government would be forced to go back to the poll, is that something that could basically even remotely part of in the Jamaican scenario?
No, that not the place are just lumber long and battle long until the next election. Maybe them call it earlier, yes, but you don't have no election now. 2-3 years from now, yes. But that is the same arms out. People are struggling and slow growth.
Anybody have a question for Ralston Hyman? Give me a call now, 876-804-7072. Those of you in the chat room, I see some of them. It's full time. The population knows exactly what is going on with the economy. Yeah.
Next thing we want to tell you, Colin.
Yes.
Yesterday, we had the 23rd intervention in the foreign exchange market since the start of this year. You understand? The 23rd intervention in the foreign exchange market since the start of this year. Another 30 billion.
How much was spent from the year start?
$620 million since the year start. I will map up $620 million US. I will map up 132.
How much did we spend yesterday? 30 million.
30 million. We spent 30 million the day before, and the man, we do 70 million. I was putting another 30 million yesterday. So for this week, we had 2 interventions this week, coming up to $60 million. For the year, we had 23 interventions, coming up to $620 million. And we mapped up 132 billion Jamaican dollars at 6% per annum.
620 million US dollars.
US dollars.
Hold on there, gentlemen, because I want to put this into perspective. 620
million US dollars.
620 million US dollars.
You're doing the calculation.
Hold on, times 162 equal 100 billion. Yeah. 100 billion 44 million 440 million. So it's 100 billion 440 million Jamaican dollar that.
Plus the 132 billion over mapped up. So you're talking about over 200 billion Jamaican. About 260 billion.
So we map up an how much? 100 how much billion?
132 billion Jamaican dollars.
So that's 200, close to 200, close to quarter of $1 trillion.
Yeah, man, I say multiply that by 1.3, you get more. Because remember, there's a multiplier which drive aggregate demand. Because a lot of people don't know that. When you take $1 out of the system, and only $1 you take out of the system, because the dollar that circulate from me to you, to OB, to the man down the road, to the this, to the this, to the that. You follow me? Yep.
Go ahead, OB.
Raleigh, based on all of this, you see, how will you hold the governor of the Bank of Jamaica accountable? Or does he have any role in this? How would you hold him accountable?
Watch me. Then give him a basket to carry water. Him can't do no better than what him doing, because him can't just follow what the IMF say and make the exchange rate run, because it'll go to 200 or something like that. So him does do what him can do. The fact of the matter is that the Ministry of Finance and the government no give him no tool for work with, because if they have a grow the economy and earn foreign exchange from other sectors of the economy, the creative sector, as Colin said, the agricultural sector, cut the oil import bill, cut the food import bill, then him would have to do what him do. So him have to do that, because for every 1% drop, and this more the listeners them get, for every 1% fall in the value of the Jamaican dollar, the debt go up by $14 billion, because 62% of the debt is in US dollars, and you have to find 600 million more in interest charges. So the dollar dropped by 2% since the start of this year. That is 28 billion more in debt and 1.2 billion in interest charges. Then money that could have got to pay the public sector workers.
Repeat that, Raleigh, repeat that figure out you just give a while ago.
For every 1% drop in the value of the Jamaican dollar against the US dollar is 14 billion more in debt and 600 million more in interest charges. So for the 2% that the dollar dropped since the start of this year is $28 billion more in debt and 1.2 billion more in interest charges.
Wow.
That is why it's like.
And this is very concerning. What Raleigh just said, it's not the first time he's saying it. But there's a lot of people that don't understand or is not fully grasping exactly how significantly bad that is for us. They boast about paying down the debt, but as the US dollar goes up and our dollar goes down, imagine every 1% we are incurring $14 billion. Oh, and an additional 600,000 Jamaican dollars of interest is incurred, because 60% of our debt is in US, so it has to be paid back in US. So if you don't have US coming in because of lack of production and you're exporting so many things, the bill is already where it's at. You don't have any US to accommodate paying back the debt. That means you would have to buy the US. So no, that's why that $14 billion is one of the reasons that $14 billion is incurred. I don't want to make this a long video. You guys need to go and watch the rest of that interview with Ralston Hyman on Colin Bell show. You can see the shirt he's in. You know, it's clear, it's pretty easy to find. Alright, please remember to follow me on all of my platforms. Get this video up to 10,000 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, here we go. That is the channel on your screen. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe, endorse, the platform. Alright? Fully endorsed over here. The word is love. Big up yourself, Mr. Colin Bell. Big up yourself, Ralston, Hyman. I do hope that my audio is good. I've had some issues. So I'm going to check back on this before I post it. But even if it's a little choppy, which I hope not, I still have to post this because their audio is not choppy. Alright? I want to thank Mr. Ralston Hyman again for continuously giving us accurate information in regards to the state of our economy. Pretty much, our economy is in a downward spiral. Unfortunately, when it drops to the ground, you won't hear an explosion. What is going to happen is that the way how these guys are operating, the economy is going to drill itself down further into the abyss because of the practices, policies, and stuff that the government is doing. All right, the word is love, and all of us have a responsibility to make Jamaica the best, become the best version of itself, and that is a true reflection on the peace that people experience in the country, if any, and also the prosperity. You can't have one without the other. Jamaican people don't feel safe, they don't feel the prosperity. What they feel is fear, and they feel poverty. And that's a consensus that nobody can go around. That is it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section.